I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. We got a lot of stuff to get to, so let's get down to business. Last week, we talked about the National Football League's propensity to the passing game. Over 58% of plays this year have been passes, and is definitely showing with the totals. You think that every New England Patriot game is going over the number? Well, it's not just your imagination. 19 of the last 22 New England Patriot games have gone over the number. Therefore, I will take the over against the Oakland Raiders. Now, I was on the Oakland Raiders when they upset the New York Jets last week, but I feel as if though the New England Patriots will bounce back and get it done. Although we warned you about the Buffalo Bills. Nobody's circling the wagons like the Buffalo Bills this year. And a lot of quote-unquote experts are talking about the Buffalo Bills being in a perfect letdown spot here. I don't believe in a letdown spot here for the Buffalo Bills. I don't think the Bills believe that they're good enough to let down against anybody. And the Cincinnati Bengals have played better football than anybody, including myself, thought they were going to play. Nevertheless, I like the Buffalo Bills to improve to 4-0 with a, let's say a 7, 8, 9, 10-point victory, 27-17, 24-14. I think the Buffalo Bills will get a comfortable W, and I like that game a lot, not just because I am a Buffalo Bill fan. Now, I won against the Jets last week. I will be on the Jets this week. I don't know what it is, but the Baltimore Ravens just remind me of a college football team that beats up on the weaker conference teams, but then when they have to step up in class, they get punched in the mouth, and yeah, I know they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 1. I like this New York Jet football team. I just don't like this New York Jet football team when I have to lay points with them. I'll take the Jets as an underdog. And speaking of totals, you look at Baltimore and you look at the New York Jets and you figure, wow, this game's going to be 10-6. Wrong. Now, the total's 40 and a half, and it's interesting. You look at Rex Ryan, the New York Jets, 20 of the last 25 football games the Jets have played have gone over the number, and I think that Sunday night's game is a classic and perfect T spot right here. Take the New York Jets, nearly double-digit points, just to get over 33. I think we can cash in and win. Now, speaking of teasers, now, college football, there are a lot of blowouts, but there are certain spots in which teasers are nice to come into play, and I think we got a perfect situational teaser spot here with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama and Florida, one of the best rivalries in all of college football and, of course, in the SEC. Now, Florida Gators are 4-0 outright and 4-0 ATS, but they really haven't played anybody yet. Yeah, Tennessee is improved, but Tennessee is not the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Alabama just beat up on a pretty good Arkansas Razorback football team, who incidentally I think loses to Texas A&M. Alabama went in to Happy Valley and played in front of 110,000 drunk kids and knocked the snot out of Penn State. I think they go into the swamp, but it's been a few years since they've been to the swamp, but I think Alabama has the class to get it done and remain undefeated. Now, speaking of remaining undefeated, nobody remains undefeated when it comes to mixed martial arts, but Dominic Cruz is one of the best fighters in the world that nobody ever talks about. Now, he's defending his championship belt against Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson. Cruz will win this fight. Now, the line is a little bit high, and I will be parlaying Dominic Cruz with Anthony Johnson. Now, Anthony Johnson's fighting Charlie Brenneman. Now, remember what happened with Brenneman when he upset Rick Horror Story? And yeah, it was a real horror story for me, as I had Rick's story linked up in every one of my parlays. Bad decision. Brenneman's not catching lightning in a bottle twice. Anthony Johnson can actually wrestle, unlike Rick's story. And Johnson's a complete monster. The dude's a beast. If you parlay Anthony Johnson and Dominic Cruz together, you have to lay like, let's say, 55, 60 cents. I think it's worth it. Now, as far as Struve, the skyscraper, and Pat Barry is concerned, now, I think Pat Barry can win this fight. And people are telling me you're crazy. You're going with Pat Barry. Pat Barry is a little bit too heavily favored for my liking, but I think that Pat Barry can sort of chop down the skyscraper. That is until I saw Pat Barry's latest video offering. And as usual, it's pretty scary stuff, and it makes you wonder if Pat Barry's mind is really on the fight. But I think that he has the power to mess Struve up. I'll take a shot with Pat Barry, a small shot with Pat Barry. But my top UFC picks of the weekend will be an Anthony Johnson, Dominic Cruz parlay. Now let's wrap it up with some Major League Baseball. Wow, That was some crazy stuff that went down on Wednesday night, wasn't it? Now, the only thing uglier for a Boston Red Sox fan than the collapse of the Red Sox against the Baltimore Orioles was Nancy Grace's nip slip. Fortunately, I didn't see it, and I don't really have the heart to log on and try to search for it. I'm lying. I started to watch it, and I had to turn away. It was rough, man, real rough, just like the Red Sox collapse. I'd be lying to you if I told you I really have a good feeling as far as who's going to win the World Series. I thought the Boston Red Sox were going to win the World Series. And that's what I was saying all summer, and people were kind of giving me weird looks. A lot of people like Philadelphia right now. You know what? I'm going to take a shot with the St. Louis Cardinals. Tony La Russa, arguably the best manager in baseball. Albert Pujols could be a swan song in St. Louis. And yeah, Philadelphia should win, but I think there's some good value with the series price with the St. Louis Cardinals. Not really getting a good feel for the Major League Baseball playoffs. I really think that anything can and probably will happen. But I don't think the New York Yankees are going to get to the series. It's either going to be the Detroit Tigers or the Texas Rangers, in my opinion. And I actually do believe the Texas Rangers will win the American League. As far as the National League, I got a feeling something weird is going to happen as well. Arizona looks like a decent bet against Milwaukee. I'm not really sure if Milwaukee's going to handle the postseason pressure, but the rotation is just so good. So I'll take a shot with the St. Louis Cardinals against the Philadelphia Phillies, and I'll take a shot, a small play on the Texas Rangers to win the World Series as well. I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. May the winners be yours.